What's good? Welcome to the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. And if this is your first time checking me out, please subscribe, please share, and please like and subscribe. Got some great things coming up. So, on this late night stream, got some different topics to talk about. We're going to kick things off with the Bucks versus the Suns. It was a game for the ages. I think the last three games between the Bucks and the Suns were the best games of the series so far. So we're going to kick things off with how the game went yesterday. So I'm watching the game, and I'm pretty much thinking, you know what? I had Bucks in six, and matter of fact, I still got to call out Louis T. So I've hit him up. Louis T is not responding. So I'm gonna have to take it to Twitter and hit him up because I told him watch out for the Bucks way early in the series, and you know what I'm saying. Bucks pulled it off, but when you look at the game, Devin Booker was tired. He shot 22 times. He made 8 shots. He was 0 for 7 from three. When was the last time Devin Booker went 0 for 7 from three? And 5 assists. He was a minus 15 on a plus minus. I really don't care about that, but that's just what the stats say. And then Chris Paul, this was his last, I don't want to say his last chance at a ring, but it could be his last chance at a ring. He shot 19 times, made 11 shots. Chris Paul was very efficient. And that second quarter, he caught fire and literally almost had Phoenix win this game because in that second quarter, Phoenix scored 31 points to 13 for the Bucks. So Chris Paul was amazing. DeAndre Ayton, who they say, oh, he's like the next Shaq or whatever, he was terrible. He had 12 points, 6 rebounds. And he really didn't even do anything to really impact the game on both sides. Hey, what's good? Third down, man. Welcome to the stream, man. Testing out some new stuff here. He says, you have to start off with Steven Montez instead. Now, we're going to get to Washington football, and we're not talking about Steven Montez, bro. He said, CP3 never get in the ring, sad to say. Well, I'm going to get to a point in this stream where I'm going to talk about some possibilities where Chris Paul can actually go to and possibly have some success. So we're going to get to that later on in the show. He says, Chris Paul to the Lakers next year. Man, you were jumping the gun. And that is one of the teams that I felt that, Chris Paul can go to and possibly have success. Oh, Ladarius, what's up, man? Welcome to the stream. Third down, welcome to the stream. So, getting back to the Phoenix Suns, DeAndre Ayton, he was horrible. 4 for 12 from the field. That's horrible. 6 rebounds in 36 minutes. What they were able to do to DeAndre Ayton was they can go big, they can go small. There was a lineup where they had Giannis, Lopez, and Bobby Portis out on the floor. And it's funny because the Bucks bigs can stretch the floor. That's the crazy part of the whole thing. The Bucks can stretch the floor. The Bucks can play small. Mikal Bridges, there was a game he had 27 points, and I said it. I said, this guy will never score 27 points again, and he had 7. Crowder, I got to give it to Crowder. Crowder has just been an enforcer and a sniper from 3, but he was 2 for 9 yesterday. 15 points, 13 rebounds. That's a big man type number. Like, look, these are the numbers that you was expecting out of DeAndre Ayton instead of Crowder. Crowder shot 4 for 11 overall, had 4 steals. So when you look at Phoenix, they just didn't have enough. They didn't have enough. I've been saying it. Phoenix is good, but they're not great. They're not a great team. There's nobody on Phoenix that you can put the ball in their hands and they can take over the game. Devin Booker has tried. Devin Booker has done it through the entire playoffs, but he's tired. He's tired. He's done all he can. And when you look at the bench for the Phoenix Suns, Cameron Payne had 10 points. And I think most of those points came in that second quarter. Why was he pulled from the game? You can play a lineup of Cameron Payne, Chris Paul, and you can remove a Bridges and just go smaller. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. You got to play Booker at the 3 and get Cameron Payne in there because Cameron Payne was their best offense. There was a time when Chris Paul was not scoring, and it was all Cameron Payne. So it's just crazy to me, how things worked out, how things, worked out or, didn't work out for these guys. Ladarius says, let me read your comment. It says, Manny, why does the media always have to say dumb blank when someone new wins? Now Broussard and Skip are saying that the 2020 Lakers was a super team, but everyone killed the roster when they first got together. Yeah, and you're right. You're right. That is a dumb statement by Broussard and Skip Bayless. Two dummies. Those are two guys that I don't respect in the sports world, and those guys are always talking from their backside. How can you say the Lakers team last year was a super team when who was the starting point guard last year? Like, okay, LeBron played point. Rondo was coming off the bench. They only had one point guard in Rondo. Okay, you had Avery Bradley who didn't go into the bubble, and you have that a whole bubble thing, Mickey Mouse ring, all that bullcrap. Now we're not having that. Every time somebody new wins, it's always some BS. Like even now, they're disrespecting the Bucks. They're saying that the Bucks didn't really deserve this because of injuries. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna get into the Bucks box score in a minute, but yeah, Broussard and Skip, they're crazy. If anything, you can say the Lakers had a better team this year than they had last year. So you can't say that it was a super team. What was super about the team last year? They had a lot of good veterans in Dwight Howard and Rondo. Those were the difference makers, right, for us last year. This year, Lakers said, you know what? We're going to play faster. We're not going to have a lot of the bigs because the bigs that they had last year were not threats on offense. But this year you had Gasol who can stretch the floor, and then you had Dwight Howard who was Andre Drummond who came in and just didn't fit into the system. So you can't say last year was a super team. If anything, you can say the Lakers added Dennis Schroeder and Montrezl Harrell to the squad this year, and you can say this year's team is more of a super team than last year's. But even then, what makes either one of the squads, 2020 and 2021's Lakers squad, super teams? Nothing. You got LeBron and AD and a bunch of role players. It's a bunch of role players. So I don't agree with that statement, Ladarius, but thanks for bringing that to my attention. But you look at the Bucks, and I'm going to go player by player from the least to the best. The Bucks, my bad. ESPN is trying to get me. But yeah, and this is why I don't like ESPN's box score, because they'll always try to run that video on you. But anyways, when I go from the least to the best on the Bucks, I gotta say Pat Connaughton. Okay, Bucks were 7 deep, and all the 7 guys on the Bucks, they had 7 guys who pretty much produced at a high level for them. You got Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton was averaging like 11 points a game, shooting 50% from the field before the game yesterday. Let me read this comment real quick because this is pretty funny. Ladarius says, Jay Crowder got to feel sick. Did all that clowning on LeBron just to lose back-to-back finals, and that made me feel great. As a Lakers fan, I enjoyed watching Jay Crowder lose once again. He's a good player, but he's annoying. So I was so happy to see him lose. But back to what I was saying, Pat Connaughton, he didn't have a good game yesterday. He was 0 for 4. He was jacking up some shots. He had 0 points, but he was a key piece for the Bucks because when they struggled for shooting, when guys like Jrue Holiday struggled, Pat Connaughton was that steadying force. He was that steadying guy that can come up and, knock down that big three that they needed. But he did have 8 big rebounds yesterday. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Portis, that's another one of their top guys. He had 16 points off the bench, and he was 6 for 10. He was literally the X factor. He outperformed every bench player that the Phoenix Suns had. When you combine the points, Bobby Portis was the bench for the Bucks. Now you get to the next most important guy. Well, going from least to great, PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker had 0 points, but guess what? He had 6 rebounds, and he made things tough for Devin Booker. And this was the game that actually PJ Tucker won in terms of the matchup. You know what I'm saying? Every single time when your guy goes off, Booker, people try to clown PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker did his thing. Adrian Walker, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you. If this is your first time, please subscribe and please like. It says number 1 defense. Yeah, the Bucks definitely have the number 1 defense. And I kept saying that. I kept saying that the Bucks, this is the difference between the Bucks and every other team that was in the playoffs. Darius says Bobby was hooping, and that's a fact. That's a fact. But PJ Tucker did his thing. I was proud of him. He stepped up in a big way. He was able to give them that defensive presence. Just imagine a lineup of Giannis, Antetokounmpo, Middleton, Drew Holiday, who was first team all defense. So you have two guys first team all defense, and Middleton, a steady and improving defender, and then PJ Tucker. That's a nice starting five. And then Lopez, who can clean up, the paint with his long length and ability. But PJ Tucker, 0 points, but played great defense. Then you have Lopez, next guy on the list. He had 10 points. There was a point in the game where he had that slam dunk, and the crowd went crazy, and momentum was just everywhere surrounding Brook Lopez. Brook Lopez was doing his thing left and right, and that was literally the difference of that game was the impact that Brook Lopez brought to the table. Now, the next most important guy, going from least to great, is Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday, although he's annoying, he annoys me because he plays great, then he plays bad. He plays great, then he plays bad. He shot 4 for 19 from the field, literally shot Phoenix back into the game. But he had 12 points. He did have 9 rebounds, and he did have 11 assists. So almost a triple-double, but these are Ben Simmons-type numbers. I mean, we are starting to get to a point that we're not even impressed with triple-doubles anymore just because everybody is doing it. I'm not saying that it's easy to do, but, I mean, come on. But Drew Holiday is an elite defender, and he defended beautifully yesterday. He did have 4 steals as well, and he did create for others, so you can't ask for more. Chris Middleton is that next guy, and he had 17 points, but Chris Middleton, I call him Chris Clutch Middleton. This guy made shot after shot after shot after shot. The guy was just clutch, man. So I just call him Clutch Middleton. He had 17 points, but he hit that big shot towards the end. That shot was as big as Kyrie's shot versus Golden State. It was that next level type of shot, and he's been the closer for them. Now we got to get to the most important guy, and it's Giannis Antetokounmpo, who, when he goes to Phoenix, he can't shoot free throws, because they're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on and so forth, and he continues to miss those free throws. Let me read Ladarius's comment. He goes, "I'm glad that the Bucks got this ring because we all know them and the Suns won't be back, especially if everybody's come back." Absolutely. This was a great chance for one of these two teams to win the ring, and I don't think that neither the Suns or the Bucks get back to the finals. Now, the Bucks have more of a chance to make it because they have a great player in Giannis. But let me get back to what Giannis did real quick. So Giannis had 50 points, 14 rebounds, 5 blocks. Okay. This dude shot 17 for 19 from the free throw line. He missed that other free throw, so he will not. I don't think Giannis won the 51 points. I think he won the 50. So he can order the like the 50 pieces of nuggets from Chick-fil-A today. The dude is crazy, man. But yeah, Giannis had an amazing game, and he put the team on his back. 50 points, 14 rebounds. Those are Shaquille O'Neal type numbers. To be honest, Giannis and Middleton remind me of Kobe and Shaq yesterday in terms of the impact and how the game went. Giannis was, dunking the ball, doing his thing, being dominant in the paint, and Middleton was just the closer for them. That's just kind of what it reminded me of. Ladarius says, "No lie, I'm starting to think that Middleton has better midi than Kawhi and DeRozan." I can agree with that statement. Matter of fact, I was talking to somebody about this same topic yesterday, and we were saying that, hey, Kyrie has an awesome mid-range. Chris Paul has an awesome mid-range. But Middleton, man, I think Middleton has turned to elite. I think that Middleton was an overrated player. They gave him so much money, and I judged him. I didn't know nothing about the guy, and I judged Middleton, but Middleton was literally the reason why they won this game. I mean, without Middleton, the Bucks don't win. The Bucks needed somebody that can close, and we all know that we cannot trust Drew Holiday. We cannot trust Drew Holiday at all. We know he's a great defender, but when it comes to offense, it's like he got to the Bucks and forgot how to score. He got to the Bucks and forgot how to create. Ladarius is asking. He says, "Do you think AD can be that aggressive like Giannis, or is he too fragile?" No, AD can definitely look. Make no mistakes about it. When AD is healthy, he's one of the best players in the world. Matter of fact, I've seen more dominating games from AD than I have from Giannis. Like what Giannis is doing now. Yes, he has the 2 MVPs, but what I saw yesterday was like the best game I've ever seen from Giannis in his life. And you know why? Because of the free throw shooting. The free throw shooting is what set Giannis apart. When you make 17 free throws, that's a lot of points. You almost got 20 points just from free throws alone. So that's something that AD can definitely do. And I've seen AD dominate for 45 and 15, 45 and 20. We've seen these dominant games. And I think AD can be that kind of player in the playoffs. And then you got to realize, can AD lead a team? We don't know. We've seen what he did with the Pelicans, horrible franchise, horrible situation. So I get all that. But I definitely think that AD is on that same type level. Now, of course, we'll never know until LeBron is gone from the Lakers and AD is literally leading his team. So, but Giannis is special. His skill set is amazing. He does things that regular humans can't do. So when you look at the whole situation, AD can be a Giannis type player in terms of production, but only time will tell. But overall, great game for the Bucks, great win for the Bucks. They deserved it. And now we can kind of get into Chris Paul. Is he leaving? Does he opt out of that deal? I think he's earning over $40 million this year if he keeps that deal. But we're gonna see, does Chris Paul really care about winning, or does Chris Paul care about his money? He's always been about his money. Chris Paul had plenty chances to go somewhere and win and be have a chance to win. When he left the Clippers, which the Clippers was a good situation, even though he kept losing and losing and losing, went to Houston for 2 years. I felt that the Houston Rockets could have definitely gotten to the finals if Chris Paul never got hurt. So that didn't work out there. And now they sent him to OKC to rot. And he took that team to the playoffs and had that team as a top 5 team, a team that we didn't see going to the playoffs. So now, somehow, some way, he finds his way to Phoenix. I just felt like, I don't think Chris Paul knew that they can accomplish this in Phoenix. I think he probably saw 2 young up-and-coming stars and said, you know what, it's Phoenix. It's a nice place to live. And then, it sort of kind of worked out. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Phoenix Suns. They played the Lakers with no AD. They played the Denver Nuggets with no Jamal Murray. And they played the Clippers with no Kawhi. So take it for a grain of salt. You can say whatever you want to say. I felt like the Phoenix Suns were handed a shot at the finals. And even though they got to the finals, I was still telling people they're not better than the Bucks. They're just not better than the Bucks. The Bucks have 3 superior guys compared to Phoenix. Like, you can say, okay, Chris Paul and Middleton. Okay, Giannis and Booker. Giannis is better. You say Chris Paul and Middleton played better, but you can say that both are even, both are a wash. Then you say, okay, DeAndre Ayton and what's his name, Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday had more of an impact. So the Bucks just really had a better team, better bench, better coach, better everything. But Phoenix, they have a chance. They might overpay Chris Paul. They might give Chris Paul a deal and say, you know what, we'll give you a 3-year, $100 million deal. I don't see Chris Paul getting more than a 3-year deal. I'm seeing teams offering Chris Paul $90 million 3 years, $60 million 2 years. So if he opts out of 40, he's doing it to get more money, like more long-term money. So if he opts out of 40, he's probably going to be getting 90 or 100. Kind of like how Al Horford opted out and then got that $100 million contract, and it worked out for him. Gordon Hayward, same thing, opted out just to get those extra years and more guaranteed money. All right. It says, I don't want him nowhere near the Lakers. I'd rather have Westbrook I think Bron can make Westbrook take better shots. I don't think Bron can make Westbrook take better shots, but I do think that Westbrook will bring a different kind of tenacity to the Lakers. You know, he's definitely going to be that scorer. You know, LeBron can kind of like back up, kind of chill, let Westbrook cook, and then fourth quarter, LeBron does his thing. If a star like Westbrook comes to the Lakers, I see LeBron taking a step back just to preserve his body for the playoffs when it really matters. But LeBron will have to handle a lot of the ball because Westbrook makes a lot of bad decisions. Now, Chris Paul and the Lakers, he can control the Lakers, and it'll be the best thing for Anthony Davis. Chris Paul will be exactly what Anthony Davis needs. He needs a point guard kind of like that. And Rondo was good, but Rondo can't do a lot of the things that Chris Paul can. It says, I don't get why Ayton was just letting Giannis run right past them. I definitely could see AD dropping 50 on Ayton too. Yeah, Ayton is a very good center, but he's trying to guard Giannis, who started his career as a point guard. Giannis is more so a point guard or a guard in a big man's body, you know. So Giannis plays the 3, he plays the 4. There is no center in the NBA. There might not be any center in the world that can guard Giannis one-on-one. You need a guy like AD guarding Giannis. Joel Embiid does a decent job versus Giannis, but even Joel Embiid can't guard Giannis. He's just too quick. He's too big. He's too quick. You need a center that's strong, that can move their feet, and that's an anchor on the defensive end. So I don't see any center in the NBA that can match up with Giannis. Karl-Anthony Towns can't do it. Steven Adams can't do it. I'm just going down the line. Like, there is no Nikola Jokic will get destroyed. He can't do it. So it's not DeAndre Ayton's fault that he couldn't guard Giannis. Like I said, there's no center in the NBA that can guard Giannis Antetokounmpo. So it just is what it was, man. I mean, it just is what it is. It happened, and like, they should have doubled Giannis and made Giannis a passer. They didn't do that. They just left Ayton on the island, and Giannis went to work. Even when you play a smaller guy on Giannis, he's strong enough to back them down. You put a bigger guy, he's quick enough to get by them. So it happens. So no lie, I can definitely see Bron, Melo, and CP3 uniting on the Lakers. I see that as a very possible thing. I tweeted about it today, and I said it as a joke, but I actually kind of meant it, because if Chris Paul is opting out of his contract, he wants to go somewhere where he can make a little bit of money. Not only that, he wants to play with people that he enjoys playing with. And, it's always been a dream of his to play with LeBron. They're best friends. And Carmelo Anthony, I believe he's a free agent. So if Chris Paul is going to the Lakers, Carmelo might want to, hop on that train, and all three can reunite. I think all three can work out, to be honest. Even with a guy like Kuzma, you would love to have Kuzma cutting with Chris Paul handling the rock. So it could work if somehow, some way, let's say a sign and trade for Dennis Schroeder. Well, I really don't even know how this could work, because the Lakers don't really have a lot of money. So if Chris Paul is opting out and coming to the Lakers, that means he's not going to be getting a lot of money. All the Lakers have to work with is the mid-level exception, and that's if Montrezl Harrell does not opt out. If Montrezl Harrell stays and Chris Paul is coming to the Lakers for a vet minimum, I just don't see how that works. So I'll let the contract stuff work its way out. I'll just kind of see what the experts are saying when that time comes. But some interesting things can definitely happen. It says, what are we going to do with Trez and Drummond? Trez has a player option. Trez can opt out of his $9 million contract and become a free agent. Trez owes us nothing. He owes the Lakers nothing. So Trez can opt out and bounce. Drummond is a free agent. He can go wherever he wants to go. I think he loves it in LA. I think all the Lakers can offer is a veteran's minimum. I think Drummond is going to go to a place where he can play. Frank Vogel is a terrible offensive coach. He didn't know how to use Trez. He didn't know how to use Drummond. And I think the Lakers are going to lose out on both guys. Now, if a guy like Chris Paul comes to the Lakers, Trez might be intrigued, because now you have a point guard that can work a legit pick and roll with him. So Chris Paul is the key to retention of a lot of our bigs. If Chris Paul comes, Drummond might take that veteran minimum deal one more time. Montrezl Harrell might say, you know what, I'll opt in. So we'll see what happens there. It's just one of those things. Now I'm going to switch gears for a little bit. I'm going to talk about some football, and I'm going to kind of relay this to my favorite team, which is the Washington football team. So a guy by the name of Fred Warner got paid today, and Fred Warner is an inside linebacker, and the guy is amazing. I think he got an extension for $95 million, and 40 plus of that is guaranteed. I'm going to get to the specifics in just a minute. So it was a 5-year extension. How is it that the 49ers are able to pay all their top guys? George Kittles got paid. You know what I'm saying? George Kittle is the highest paid tight end. Trent Williams is the highest paid left tackle. Now Fred Warner agrees to a 5-year, $95 million extension, and he becomes the highest paid linebacker in the league. It's just crazy to me. I'm going to share my screen in a minute. I'm going to pull up some stats, and I'm going to kind of get into what Fred Warner does and how this can relate to other linebackers that are about to get paid, especially one by the name of Jamin Davis. I'm going to kind of talk about Jamin Davis, who has not played a snap yet, and I'm going to talk about Fred Warner, and I'm going to talk about the guy from the Colts. So the 49ers got that Brooklyn Nets bag. Yeah, they got a bag. I don't know how they're able to pay everybody. But you know what? The Niners can do that because they traded 3 first-round picks to get Trey Lance. Trey Lance has to work out in order for the 49ers to have some success, because now you've put all your faith in a rookie. Obviously, Jimmy Garoppolo is probably going to start. He's going to get the bulk of the work to start the season. And if they feel that Trey Lance should play, then they bring in Trey Lance. It might be like an Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes type changing of the guard for them. But it's amazing that they're able to pay everybody. So you have the highest paid left tackle, highest paid tight end, highest paid middle linebacker. You got a great defensive line, and people are going to start to come up. You know what I'm saying? Nick Bosa, he's going to be due for some money, soon. Maybe he's like a year or 2 away from big time money, but that's a lot of money. And I'm not sure that, this money goes round. I am not sure this money goes round. Some sad news just coming in from Woj. It says the Atlanta Hawks center Onyeka Okongwu, the 6th pick overall of the 2020 NBA draft, underwent surgery to repair his torn right shoulder labrum on Wednesday and will miss approximately 6 months. Yikes. Okongwu was a great player out of Chino Hills. He actually played with Lonzo Ball. He played with the Ball brothers, and it's just sad news. It's sad news that he's going to miss 6 months, but wish him the best. Wish him a speedy recovery. But let's go ahead and get into Fred Warner real quick. Fred Warner. Let me see. He says, I want Rodgers on the 49ers. Rodgers on the 49ers would work, but I think they've invested too much in Trey Lance to get a Aaron Rodgers. So I really don't know how an Aaron Rodgers deal would work. Maybe they trade Jimmy Garoppolo and maybe 2 first-round picks to get Rodgers, but it just doesn't make any sense. Invest in 3 first-round picks in a rookie to move up in the draft to now get Rodgers. If they add Rodgers without losing anything, they win the title, hands down. But 2018, Fred Warner was drafted, and he had 124 tackles. 39 of those were assisted. 2019, his second season, he had 118 tackles, 3 sacks, 1 INT, and a touchdown, a 46-yard touchdown. Okay. Then 2020, 125 tackles, 46 of those were assisted, 1 sack, 2 INTs. So this is elite production. And this guy has only played 3 seasons. So in 3 seasons, he has amassed 367 tackles. That's amazing. 4 sacks. You know, like the interior guys don't get a lot of sacks, but 4 sacks and then 3 interceptions, 1 touchdown. Those are great numbers. And when I pull up his the rest of his accolades, I believe that he's an all-pro. So when you say, how was this guy able to get $95 million? That's why. 360 plus tackles in 3 years. So any young player that's in high school right now or in college that's watching the show or that's going to watch the replay, look, if you want to get big-time money, you got to do big-time things. You got to produce. And the NFL is all about what have you done for me lately? You know, when you look at Fred Warner, he's 24 years old. You can't beat that. He's 6'3", 230 pounds. He was a third-round pick in 2018, pick 70 overall from BYU. I mean, it does not matter what round you get drafted in. You see what I'm saying? It's all about production. And in his 3rd season, he made the Pro Bowl and the first team All-Pro. So when you first team All-Pro, you get paid. Now, for the Washington football fans that are going to be watching the show and watching the replay, you ask yourself, you have Brandon Sheriff, who's now an All-Pro. Why is it that he's not getting the same kind of respect that Fred Warner is getting? Obviously, it's 2 different positions. Obviously, guards do not get paid. But check this out, though. But you got to say that he's an all-pro, right? If we're going to base Fred Warner getting paid off of because he was an all-pro, because he was a Pro Bowler, well, Brandon Sheriff, Pro Bowler, all-pro, is just how the cookie crumbles. Brandon Sheriff, he gets hurt. The injuries, the age, the upside, all of those things are not there. But Brandon Sheriff is top 2 at his position. You can kind of argue that Brandon Sheriff is top 2, top 3 at that guard position. But guess what? Quentin Nelson has not gotten paid yet. Nobody in their right mind would make Brandon Sheriff the highest paid guard. Well, actually, if you're smart, you want to get a Brandon Sheriff deal done. If Brandon Sheriff is your guy, you want to get the Brandon Sheriff deal done. Because guess what? When Quentin Nelson gets paid, then that's only going to drive Brandon Sheriff's value even higher. As of right now, Brandon Sheriff is playing that franchise tag out for the 2nd year in a row at $18 million. So that's his base. He's not going to go lower than $18 million a year. So maybe some team out there pays Brandon Sheriff a contract of $20 million a year. I just don't see how that happens for a guard, but you know, it's a chess match right now. If the Colts are smart, they would extend Quentin Nelson right away. Extend Quentin Nelson right away. That way you don't have to worry about that again. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to pull up another linebacker, and I'm going to try to paint a picture here for Washington football fans on what it means when players play exceptionally. They deserve to get paid. The Washington football team have tons and tons of players that are going to ball out. Not just this season, for years to come. And when it comes time to, for working out a deal or paying people, you want to do it before that Pro Bowl season. You kind of have to guess. You kind of have to bet on yourself. Like, for example, Terry McLaurin is due to get paid. He's due to get paid. And it'll be nice. It'll be nice to get the deal done before this season or after next season, most definitely, because if you wait for free agency, it can get ugly. It can get ugly. Look at Allen Robinson right now and what they're going through. You know what I'm saying? So for Allen Robinson, he's winning because he's getting paid. But guess what? Teams now have to spend more money when you don't get deals done quickly. Another guy I want to talk about is Darius Leonard. 6'2", 230 pounds, inside linebacker. He can do it all. I'm pretty sure he can play some outside linebacker as well. But he was drafted in 2018 And in that first year, won the Rookie of the Year. He's a 2-time first-team All-Pro in 2018 and 2020. He's second-team All-Pro in 2019. So every single season this guy has been in the NFL, he's been All-Pro, 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 whether it's first team or second team. Okay, he was he was the tackles leader in 2018, and he's been doing all these great things even in college. He was a second-round pick 36 overall. So what I'm trying to say is, Fred Warner is probably giving the 49ers a discount. You think $95 million is a lot? Darius Leonard is going to get more money than Fred Warner. That's a guarantee. I can guarantee you that. Since Darius Leonard is one of my fave Colts. Yeah, he's amazing, man. He's amazing. And it's crazy that he didn't go in the first round. It's crazy how linebackers are overlooked sometimes in the draft. And when they do go in the draft, they go from like pick 20 down. Every now and then you get you get those Devin Bush in the first round, you get those Devin Whites in the first round. But sometimes if your eyes is open and if you're a great scouter, you can get you a guy like Darius Leonard in the second round. So here's a guy, I'm going to pull up his stats. So for him to have All-Pro, 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 and Fred Warner is a one-time All-Pro, you know what I'm saying? Like the numbers, the stats are comparable. The stats are comparable. But I think this guy is about to get paid. You hear me? He's about to get paid. He has 366 tackles for his career. He has 15 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, 4 fumble recoveries, 7 interceptions, 22 pass deflections. Wait a minute. It says 10 defensive touchdowns. I don't know if I can trust this. I think somebody was having fun. There's no way he has 10 defensive touchdowns. That has to be fake. That has to be so fake, man. These guys have made me so mad. Wikipedia, never use Wikipedia, man. There is no way he has 10 defensive touchdowns. And if he does, I'll say wow, because I don't watch Darius Leonard. But I can almost guarantee there is no way he has 10 defensive touchdowns. Now I'm going to use NFL.com. I think NFL.com is more safe. So disregard what I said about 10 defensive touchdowns. Somebody was playing tricks on Wikipedia. There's just no way. There's just no way. I'm not going to agree to that until I see it with my own 2 eyes. So we're going to pull up the stats for Darius Leonard. And we're going to go through it. So his rookie season, this guy had 145 tackles. 145 tackles in his rookie season. Okay. 93 of those were solo tackles. And this was a guy people said, you know what? He's smaller. He's on a smallish side of things, kind of like Jamin Davis. I'm just saying. So this guy is kind of small. They don't know if he can tackle. And I think because of his size was why he fell to the second round. 7 sacks. You can't beat that. You know what I'm saying? 2 pass defense. And for the record, correction, because Wikipedia lied, he has 1 touchdown. Maybe I saw 1.0 and said 10. I don't know. They made me mad. So I'm not even going to go back and check on that. But you can kind of see why Darius Leonard is about to get paid. Ladarius is asking, is Sherman still on the 49ers? He's a free agent. And with the situation that just happened, I don't think that Sherman plays football this season. Maybe he works something out. I mean, he still has to go through Goodell and they have to clear him and everything. But no, Sherman is a free agent right now. And he was actually waiting to be signed. And I didn't really even go into all the details of how, what happened to him. It's just sad, man. I hope that he gets the help that he needs. But yes, Sherman is not on the 49ers currently. But back to Darius Leonard, man. I gotta keep looking at this because a lot of Washington fans are saying Jamin Davis for Rookie of the Year. To get Rookie of the Year, Jamin Davis will have to be top 10 in tackles in the NFL, period. I'm not saying he has to get 145 tackles, but he has to be in that 120 type range to even be in the conversation of Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, Rookie of the Year. But, then again, if all the other rookies, it all depends on, I guess, all the rookies combined. So, but Jamin Davis definitely has a shot. He has a shot, but man, these Darius Leonard numbers are just amazing, man. 145 tackles and 7 sacks. And you see why he made the All-Pro team. I mean, you're seeing it. You're seeing why he's gonna shatter $95 million. $95 million is nothing. Like I said, 49ers, they did great paying their guy now rather than later. After year 3, you pay your guy. So hopefully Washington pays Terry McLaurin after year 3. I would love to see it done now, but I guess after year 3, then you can go ahead and extend your guy. It's better to do it after year 3 than waiting for year 4, especially guys like Warner, who doesn't have that first round pedigree, who doesn't have they don't have that option of giving him that that 5th year option. So you got to kind of pay your guys now, then waiting for after year 4. Free agency and all of that, it gets crazy. So year 2 for Leonard, 99 total tackles, which is not bad. I read something different on Wikipedia, but I guess 99 is probably more accurate. That's probably why he was second team All-Pro his second year. He had 5 sacks, but he also had 5 interceptions. So that's deserving of All-Pro. Whether it's first or second, it doesn't matter. I'm pretty sure somebody, outplayed him in 2019. I don't feel like looking it up, and then he only played 13 games as well. So that's probably why he didn't get that over 100 sacks, things of that nature. But 99 tackles, 5 sacks, and 5 INTs for a middle linebacker or an inside linebacker. That's amazing. And he had a touchdown. And I'm seeing touchdown yards. Or I guess yards after INTs was 92. But I mean, that's just amazing. I'm just amazed. I'm amazed. And then in 2020, he had 122 tackles. He had 3 sacks. He had 7 pass defense. So he defends a lot of passes. So not only is he a great inside linebacker, not only is he a great tackler, he's also a great coverage linebacker. And that's something that you cannot take for granted. It's hard to get these guys that can cover tight ends. Darius Leonard is like one of the best, if not the best linebackers. And then there's so many great ones. Devin White is another one. I love me some Devin White. Devin White is awesome. And we saw how great he was in the Super Bowl. You need these quarterbacks of the defenses if you want to have any success. So now, back to how this ties in with Washington football. So you guys are saying Jamin Davis, Defensive Rookie of the Year. And you see what it takes to be a Defensive Rookie of the Year. You can't compare him to Chase Young because those are 2 different positions. Like I've said, the number has to be at least 120 tackles because there's going to be other guys. There's going to be other defenders, other linebackers that are going to produce. And they're going to want to say, hey, I'm better than Jamin Davis. But Jamin Davis under this defense, this defensive scheme with that defensive line, Big Matt, Settle, Payne, Allen, Chase, and Sweat on the outside, things can get fun. Things can get fun for this defense. So a lot can happen. I'm not saying that Jamin Davis doesn't win the Rookie of the Year, but I just want people to kind of see what it takes. Now, if Jamin Davis does win Rookie of the Year, guess what? You're already setting up yourself for greatness. That means you have to produce. You have to outproduce that every single year. Now, he can win Defensive Rookie of the Year and still not be an All-Pro, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be a Darius Leonard. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has to be who they are. But what I'm saying is, you guys see Darius Leonard's numbers. You guys see Fred Warner's numbers. And let's say that Jamin Davis is producing like this. Maybe not exactly, but producing like this. Then guess what? That's another first rounder that's about to get paid. So it's like, how do you keep all these first rounders, or how do you keep all this talent? Because sometimes you find guys like Antonio Gibson in the third, Terry McLaurin in the third. Hopefully, Dyami Brown follows, that same vibe, and continue to produce. So, man, a lot can happen. The Washington football team definitely have some decisions to make. Training camp is starting, man. Training camp is starting, and we have all been waiting for it. We want to see what happens with Landon Collins. We want to see what happens with Cam Curl. Is there going to be a battle? Are we going to see more, safeties than linebackers on the field? And it's like, what are the football team going to do with linebacker depth? I know I've talked about this in previous videos. I've talked about this in previous podcasts, but there's a lot of decisions to be made. What happens at wide receiver? Wide receiver is going to be an interesting camp, because you got guys like Harmon and Sims and AGG who are all similar. So what happens there? What happens with Adam Humphries? What happens with Steven Sims? A lot of us Washington fans are tired of Steven Sims Jr., and who knows what happens. I can't really say I know what's about to happen. An injury or two can change the entire dynamics of everything. Look at Cam Akers. Look at what happened to him. And this is why I say teams should draft running backs every 2 years. They drafted Darrell Henderson, and you know what I'm saying? The next year they drafted Cam Akers, and everybody was like, are they crazy? Are they crazy? No. Running back is a position that you got to continue to draft and continue to draft and continue to draft. Why? Because you can't trust those guys. As much as I love Antonio Gibson for the Washington football team, guess what? Next year, you might want to draft another running back, or in the next couple of years, draft another running back. It's a position that doesn't last anymore. I'd rather have an elite wide receiver than have an elite running back, just because you don't even know how many years these running backs can last. Look at Saquon Barkley. He was taken so high in the draft, and he has not paid off yet for the Giants. And guess what? They got to pick up his fifth-year option, because they invested so much draft capital in terms of where they drafted him at. They could have traded back and gotten more value that can help their team. Maybe they could have gotten some guys that could help that Giants team in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? But no, you want to draft a running back in the top 5. It's crazy to me, but guess what? There are some running backs that are special, and everybody was looking at Saquon Barkley as being that next Adrian Peterson type kind of guy, but it just is what it is. Speaking of Adrian Peterson, he still wants to play. Does he go to the Rams? I don't know. Maybe he goes to the Rams. Maybe he fixed that team. Who knows? But Adrian Peterson is so close to passing that next back, and I think he's so close to passing Barry Sanders. But I'm just excited that football is coming back. And I'm excited for my Washington football team. I think this is a year that we do something special. Everybody is afraid of Fitzpatrick. I've been seeing a lot of chatter in the fantasy world. What do you do with Fitzpatrick? Is Fitzpatrick the guy? Is Fitzpatrick this? Do you think that Fitzpatrick has the best career he's ever had? Do you think that Fitzpatrick cracks 30 touchdowns this year? I don't know. I don't know if he cracks 30. Somebody was showing me the stats. I think it was George Carmi. He says the last Washington football team quarterback to have 30-plus touchdowns, or to even crack 30, was like so many years ago. It might have even been in the 60s. I can't even think. I can't even remember. But so I don't think that Fitzpatrick cracks 30. 30 is a tough number. 27 would be great. I think 27 is perfect. I think that 24 is probably safe. I did my offensive predictions, my offensive skilled. I ranked my top 7 offensive skill players. Yo, we got T-Ho in the building, man. You came right in time. I'm at the Washington Football Talk at this point of the podcast. So yeah, hop on in, chime in any questions you have, any concerns. But you know, just kind of free flowing right now. And as I say that, my face is fading. My face is fading on this stream right now. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to adjust myself. Yeah, I don't think you guys really care about my face, anyways. But we're just talking Washington football, man. Training camp is coming up. Back to Fitzpatrick. Does Taylor Heineke have enough to push Fitzpatrick? I think they brought Fitzpatrick here for a reason. I think that Fitzpatrick is great for a guy like Terry McLaurin, to be honest. I just think it's a win-win scenario if you have Terry McLaurin happy, because he's a guy that you got to pay. And I don't know if Taylor Heineke does enough. I mean, we've seen a small sample size. We know who Fitzpatrick is. We get it. Gunslinger. He's going to come in here, throw the ball, sling the ball, that kind of thing. But does he have enough? Does he have enough? That's what it all boils down to. Let me see the comments. T-Ho says, are we going to keep Adam Humphries? Because I heard rumors that we are going to trade him. I think those rumors are false. I have not seen any rumors about trading Adam Humphries. And this is why. Adam Humphries is on a 1-year deal. He can be cut and he can choose whatever team he wants to go to. I don't think anybody trades any assets for a guy that you can get for free. Adam Humphries is a guy that's very replaceable. He's not a guy that people are going to want to go trade for. Now, if you're talking Antonio Gandy-Golden, or if you're talking a guy like even Kelvin Harmon, those are guys that could possibly get traded. Those are guys that people would actually want to go and trade for because of the upside there. Adam Humphries is just a nice veteran. Like, think about this. Every team in the NFL had a chance to sign Adam Humphries. Okay. Obviously, Adam Humphries decided to sign with Washington, but if people wanted Adam Humphries, they would have, signed him in free agency. That's all I'm trying to say, respectfully. So, yeah, I think those rumors are false. But Adam Humphries is a guy that can possibly be in a bubble. I don't see Adam Humphries possibly making a team. I mean, he has a chance to make the team, but it's not a guarantee. I don't think it's a guarantee. If Dax Milne outplays Humphries, he's gone. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things can happen with Adam Humphries. So he's not necessarily a guy that's a lot to make the team. And he has that issue with injuries. He has that issue with concussions and things of that nature. So it says, T.O. says, we have 2 great vets, Curtis and Adam. Yes, I love Curtis Samuel. I think I did my prediction, and I had him at about 800 yards receiving. And somebody was saying, oh, if you're paying him that much money, he needs to give you more than 800. Think about it. Targets have to be spread, right? If Terry is to have 1,000 yards, or I predicted Terry for 1,400, okay? So if I predict Terry for 1,400, there's just no way that Curtis can have 1,000. It's possible. It's possible that Terry doesn't even get close to 1,400, but that's just kind of what I see. That's kind of how I based my mini prediction. But I also had Curtis at 200 yards rushing, but somebody said that number was too small. So I really don't know what people are expecting from the Washington football team offense this year, but Fitzpatrick is a guy that I see around, let's just say 3,800 yards passing. So if that's 3,800 yards passing, who's catching the passes? You got Logan Thomas out there. He'll have a role. You'll have J.D. McKissick out there. He'll have a role. So you have all these different guys. So we'll see. Tijo says, I'm sure Samuel and Adams will make the team. We will definitely see. Like I said, I'm not so sure that Adam Humphries is a lock, but we'll see. I'm probably wrong, but we shall see what happens. I just feel like we drafted some young guys that can play. We drafted them for a reason. Even guys like AGG was drafted by this regime. So, it's all about having your guys and things of that nature. Adam Humphries is on a 1-year deal. If a younger guy comes in and outplays him, why not go with the guy that you've invested draft capital in that can, help shape the future for this offense? So it's going to be a lot of moving parts, lots of moving pieces. Players that I'm excited to see this year coming back, Landon Collins. I know a lot of people don't like Landon Collins. I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to see if he's going to play at a great level. I'm not saying Pro Bowl or All Pro level. I'm just saying at a decent to great level, or good, decent to good, even. I'll take that. And maybe he's a piece that you can move via trade, even if it's for a 5th-round pick at the trade deadline or a 6th-round pick at the trade deadline, instead of just cutting him next year. Who knows? But nobody's trading for that contract. But I'm just saying, if he just balling out and he's not part of the future, then you might as well just move on from him. So I'm definitely intrigued. Big Matt Ioannidis, I'm glad that he's back. I posted something on the Back Row Redskins show Twitter. That's Back Row Redskins. Y'all check that out. And the post kind of went crazy. People were, retweeting it, reposting it. And he's expected to have a big season. He's literally, you can argue and say that Matt Ioannidis is the best interior pass rusher. I'm not talking about an overall defensive tackle play. I'm talking about in terms of pass rush ability. That bull rush, that strength, he's amazing. He's amazing. I think he's one of the strongest guys on the team. Speaking of strongest guys on the team, you guys go check out the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. I put up a video of Wes Schweitzer and his crazy, insane workouts. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's up on Twitter. I mean on YouTube right now. It's live. Y'all go check out Wes Schweitzer and his workout regime. It's crazy. He does things that are mind-blowing. He's another strong guy. So I look, camp is going to be so fun watching Wes versus Matt, watching Payne versus Flowers. Those are some big boys. Those are some big boys. Now, the tackles, I don't think either one of our tackles will have a chance versus Montez Sweat and Chase, but they're going to hold their own. The rookie, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome, man. I'm just excited for the season. I'm just more so intrigued at this moment in time, the matchups in camp between offense versus defense. You got St-Juste, who talks so much trash. He's ready to take on Terry, and I am looking forward to that. That's going to be a matchup that's going to be prime time. Prime time, St-Juste and Terry. Of course, Terry is going to try to abuse the rookie, but the rookie has shown that, he can do some things. And with St-Juste and William Jackson III, that's definitely going to help to spruce things up for us. So, I'm loving that. I'm loving that aspect of the defense. We definitely need corners out there that are going to fight and battle, because the NFC East, Amari Cooper, Kenny Golladay, NFC East got some receivers. CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I can go on and on and on. So you definitely need corners. So definitely looking for St-Juste versus Terry in camp. Preseason is going to be great. Just a lot of great things happening. But the next video I want to be dropping on YouTube will be the defensive playmakers for the Washington football team. I'm going to kind of rank them from maybe I might be able to get 10. When I did offense, I was only able to get 7 playmakers, but on defense, I'm pretty sure I can get 10. So I'll start from 10 and I'll work my way up to 1. So you guys look out for that on the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. So guys, this is my time. I hope you guys enjoyed this joint podcast. Half of this audio will be going to the Talking Sports with Manny podcast, and then the other half will be going to the Back Row Redskins Show podcast. So I will catch you guys on the next video. For those of you guys that are watching on YouTube, please like, please subscribe, please share as I continue to bring you guys the best topics in sports, from fantasy football to NBA to Washington football, Lakers, Wizards, just whatever you like. This is a buffet. Pick what you like. So please like, please subscribe, please share. And for those of you guys that are listening to the audio version, I appreciate you guys. Head on over to YouTube, support your boy, like the Talking Sports with Manny YouTube channel. I do produce a lot of Washington football content. And until next time, you guys be blessed and you guys be safe. I will catch you guys on the next video. And I'm out. Peace.